Did you experience any postpartum depression? So, here's where I stand on that. I am now, like I said, 6 weeks plus a few days postpartum, and it's taken me up until this point to really figure out everything. And I use the word everything loosely because I definitely don't have everything figured out, but up to this point, this is what I have figured out about myself and postpartum depression. I'm not a medical professional. Let me put that out there. So, I wouldn't say that I struggled with postpartum depression because I feel like that is a very scary term, yet it's a very real term. And so for the sake of that, I'm going to go with calling it the baby blues. And I do feel like I struggled with the baby blues. And the thing is, you have no control over this, right? So it literally comes down to a hormonal imbalance, which who is not going through a hormonal imbalance when you've just delivered an entire human being? Your hormones are literally all over the place. So the first 3 weeks for me are kind of a fog. And I hate to admit that because I feel like I missed out on the first 3 weeks of his life when he was the tiniest. And what I mean by that is I was very present all 3 weeks. I've been very present the entire time. But the first 3 weeks as a new mom were really hard. You're trying to adjust to the lack of sleep, to keeping this little human alive, to everything. The fact that you have needs and you're trying to recover and you're trying to adjust to being home instead of being in a hospital. The first 3 weeks, I felt like I was from the outside looking in. I felt like I was attached to him because, he's my baby, but I also felt a sense of disattachment, or I guess the word would be detachment, because the word would be detachment. Hi, mom brain. I felt a sense of detachment from him because for 9 months he was living in me and I felt his every move. I knew what was going on in a sense, right? Like if he had the hiccups in me and he was still safe in me. If he was moving around and kicking and dancing around in my belly, like I felt that. I knew exactly what was happening and when it was happening. Once he was born, I didn't feel that anymore. He wasn't in me. Like I couldn't feel his every movement. And when he cried, it was like, how do I make you feel better? It was also the fact that you're having to share this baby with everybody else. So I was watching everybody else bond with him and like be so in love with him and just goo and gaw over him and melt over him. And I felt like for me, my main priority was, like I said, keeping him alive, where with everybody else, it was like they got to experience this like lovely moment and just like hold him and ooh and ah and like experience all of that like joy and happiness. And I was experiencing joy and happiness in my own way. Like I keep going back to the fact that like I was feeling everything, but I didn't feel like I was feeling it like everybody else seemed to be feeling it. So that made me really sad, and I did not talk about it with anybody because I did not want to worry anybody that I was having these feelings. I didn't want anybody to jump to the conclusions that I was having postpartum depression and then have them be like all over me and like super, like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? I didn't want to worry anybody. After those first few weeks, things started to become more routine. That was a huge thing for me. Getting Jevin into the swing of a routine, figuring out our swing of a routine as far as feedings go and nursing and pumping and all of it, bottle feeding. Once we figured that out, it was like a veil had been lifted. Like I could see clearer. I could breathe easier. I just felt like I did not know what I was doing, which is so ironic because I've nannied basically my entire life. And with those kids, you know, like things came so naturally. Like I was like, this is what I've got to do, blah, 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 blah. I've worked at daycares, I've worked at schools. Like I knew what I was doing. But when it came to having my own child, I was like so fearful that everything went out the window. I felt like I did not know what I was doing at all. And that killed me too. Like I was like, how is it that I've taken care of all of these children my entire life, but with my own child, I feel like it's not coming naturally. I don't know what I'm doing. But again, it was that fear of doing something wrong or of hurting him or just like, I don't know, literally like I thought like everything I would do was going to kill him. Like I thought he was going to die on me. So those first few weeks, I spent a lot of time like just checking to make sure he was breathing. Like, all right, is your chest going up and down? Okay, cool. Like, is there movement? Like, all right, you're good. So did I have postpartum depression? I guess the answer is yes. If you're going through that stage yourself of baby blues, just know that it will get better. In the moment you might feel alone, just know that you really aren't, and it's okay to ask for help. Thank you guys for your questions. It was great to be able to sit down and answer these. It was a good way for me to kind of get back into my creative space and create a video. Since I haven't done this in a while, I've been doing a lot of reels and short form content, but it was great to be able to sit down with the camera and do this. So if you'd like this, and if you want me to continue with, you know, mom and baby content, let me know. I will probably continue with it anyways because that's just my life now. But let me know what else you'd like to see. Of course, I'm gonna get back with the curly girl content, and you know, I'm getting back to myself and figuring all of that out. So just be patient with me. But if you have ideas for me, if you want to see certain things from me, from the baby, from Rashawn, like let me know, because we are more than happy to create that content, and it's fun for me to be able to get my creative juices out again. So yeah, continue to spread a little sparkle in everybody's day. See you guys next time. Bye.